Costa Rica, a land of stunning biodiversity. From the magical cloud forest teeming with life, to the volcanoes towering above it all, to the wild, remote beaches of the Nicoya Peninsula, and everything in between. Brutal climbs, intense heat, and rough roads would push me to my absolute limits.
There's no way. As of right now, I am stranded.
But through all the challenges this wild country could throw at me, there were breathtaking landscapes to be found, friendly people greeting me with a smile and a pura vida, and wondrous wildlife encounters in a country home to over 5% of the world's biodiversity. And after returning to Costa Rica, my journey south would start in the airport of a small city called Liberia.
Well, it's just insanely hot today. I think it's already 34 degrees and it's still the morning. Luckily, the rivers don't seem to be dry, so there should be plenty of chances for me to cool down. And look at all these fish just swimming around me as well. This is just magical. It's just amazing when you stop here and listen. You just start to notice all these different sounds, all these birds you've never heard before. The jungle is just absolutely alive. It's amazing. Just saw this really cool bird going over to its nest. Look at that. That is a beauty. The steep climbs have started. It's hard work in this heat.
Though the climbs on the Nicoya Peninsula were steep and hot, at the bottom of each one was a beach beautiful enough to make you forget all about it.
Well, there we go. We've made it to the Pacific Ocean just in time to watch the sunset. I can't lie, I really struggled with the heat today. It was really tough there for a little bit. I think I'm gonna have to deploy what I used to do on the Baja Divide, where I'd make sure I'm packed up by sunrise, get some good miles done in the morning when it's not too hot, and then find a nice river with some shade and just have a siesta in the afternoon and then go find somewhere to camp in the evening. It's actually a really, really nice way of doing this bikepacking thing. And I reckon it's probably the best way to enjoy the Nicoya Peninsula. Found a pretty great spot here, just off the beach. Nice flat bit of sand. And I'm just underneath these amazing trees.
I was just sat at camp and I started hearing all this rustling behind me in the bushes, and I turned around to just find so many hermit crabs just coming to life. It's incredible. There's hundreds of them.
Thank you, beautiful spot on the beach. It's nice and early, it's not too hot, so hopefully I can get some good riding done right now. Got a bit of a traffic jam. Oh, look at those horns. Buenos dias. I'm really loving here in Costa Rica. They have these huge tomatoes. This was literally the smallest one I could find in the store. I think these sliced up with a bit of salt are going to be my go-to snack here. Hola, Pedro. Hola. Hola. What are you doing? Getting a good old sniff of my armpit. It smells down there. You don't want to sniff that. Hola. Hey, little guy. What are you doing up there? I think there's a deer in the road. Probably can't get any closer before I scare it off. This country is just alive. Everywhere I look, there's another animal to see. I just spotted this while filming that deer. And just as I was filming that, a few of these birds flew over my head. This is just amazing. It's absolutely incredible here. These trees with the pink flowers are just everywhere here and they're so beautiful. Look at that. Well, it's just past midday now and it is hot. But the good news is I've done probably about 2/3 of the riding I need to do today. So I'm just gonna head on down to the beach and have a siesta. Look at this store I'm sat next to as well. Just love how colourful everything is out here, it's amazing. Well, I definitely enjoyed the riding this morning, a lot more than I did yesterday afternoon. Now I just need to hang out for a couple of hours, try and be a bit more like these dogs. And then once the heat's died down a bit, I'll set off and find somewhere to spend the night. So I've got avocado, tomato, and of course frijoles. And the beach. What more could you want? Another beautiful camp spot, another amazing sunset. Costa Rica's alright, you know. And just like last night, all the hermit crabs are making their way down to the beach. Well, it's another beautiful morning here in Costa Rica and it looks like I've come across my first chance to ride along a beach. Cooling off in the river here while I wait for some water to filter. Back on the beach.
The Nicoya Peninsula is littered with American and Canadian tourists, but even at its most touristy spots, there were still hidden bays to be found, with the most turquoise waters and white sand beaches to call home. And after an evening watching the sunset over the Pacific, it would never be long before I was saying goodbye to the beach and the busy coastal highway, and I'd find myself experiencing the magic of the jungle once again.
I think there's a monkey in this tree somewhere. There it is. No way. There he is climbing up. That is amazing. I've just realised the monkeys actually talk back to you. That is way too fun. There's more. I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but there's a little baby on his back up there. A little tiny one.
I could have sat and watched the monkeys for hours. It was absolutely magical. But I had plenty more places to explore, so I eventually got moving once more.
None of the climbs out here are particularly long. Some of them are insanely steep. Wow. Even these big four-wheel drive trucks are struggling. Even walking up is such hard work. I'm like literally dripping with sweat. Oh. And what comes after the top of every climb? A descent! Woo! Come on. Well, that is just beautiful. Oh. Okay, that's cooled me down a bit, and I'm gonna need it because I've basically got to do that climb again now. I think I've got to go up over these hills there. Well, that climb was quite a bit easier than the first one of the day, and it was far more rewarding. The views up here are just spectacular. Hello guys. Wait, is that... The first one was a coati, I don't know what that is. What on earth? I know I keep saying it, but I just cannot believe how much life there is here in Costa Rica. It feels like every time I stop, I just see something completely new and incredible. I'm absolutely loving it here.
Hola.
Hola, buenas. Es bonito, ¿sí?
Hermoso, ¿eh?
Sí.
Heard you pass south of Baltimore, wondering if you watch the ships roll in. Will you stay up till the dawn's early light? Do you ever wonder how I've been? Postcard memories only paint a picture of how you are in one place at a time. I need you now more than ever.
Hey buddy,
before.
what are you doing there in the road?
For you come back home. matter where you go when you're young, you're trying to outrun the past. Like a ghost, you travel through my dreams. I only see you through the looking glass. Postcard memories only paint a picture.
Well, it's looking pretty unlikely I'll make it to the beach today in time to watch the sunset, but that's okay. I've been pretty spoiled for sunsets so far in Costa Rica. Sure, I can go one night without one. I found out the monkeys earlier are howler monkeys, hence the noise they were making, and there's a bunch more right here. I just love that sound they make. Although I think I probably wouldn't love it if I heard it in the middle of the night while camping and didn't know what it was. Might be slightly terrifying then. Sounds a little bit demonic. Now we've got the crickets making a racket. And then the howler monkeys. So many sounds, I love it.
I'll always remember your eyes shining in the morning light. Thought I saw you out there dancing on the ocean. Thought I heard you singing to-ra-lu-ra-la. I wanna be wherever you are. I'm waiting for you to come back home. I need you now more than ever. I'm waiting for you to come back home.
Got a nasty little climb now, heading up into the jungle. Okay, I think it might already be that time. Oh, there's like a perfect little pool right there. Oh, yeah. I can't even describe how good that felt. Oh my goodness. I definitely feel like slow travel is the best way to enjoy this route, because although the cycling is beautiful and at times it's really fun, what I'll remember this route for is moments just like this one, where I'm just hanging out in a river, trying to escape the heat. I'm just alone with the sound of the water flowing and the noises of the jungle. It's just really special. So the route was about to take me inland up a ridiculously steep climb that is just way too hot right now to enjoy. So I've decided I'm going to try and make my way down the coast. It's about 6 miles along here to the next town, and there's a couple of beaches I can ride along for a while. The only problems are, firstly, getting between the beaches, and then also the fact that the tide is coming in, so I need to be quick. There is a hiking trail along here though, so if all else fails I can stick to that and I'll make it eventually. I'll probably end up regretting this. It's probably going to take longer than the other way. I'm just hoping it's a bit more fun. This is pretty cool. There's a little spot here for volunteers to come and tidy up the beach. Take a bag, fill it up with all the plastic you can find, and then someone will get rid of it. That's amazing. I made it through the first section of hiking trail. That was quite tough, and now I'm on the beach and it is just glorious here. This is amazing. Just came across some pelicans sitting on a rock there. And it's funny because since I've been riding La Hira de Costa, I keep coming across things that remind me of my time riding the Baja Divide, which is really interesting because the places and the routes really couldn't be any more different. And the pelicans reminded me of the Baja Divide because I used to love sitting at camp in the morning and just watching them fish in the ocean. I just think they're such amazing birds. Now I've come across a big old rocky section to get to the next beach, so I think I'm gonna have to join the hiking trail for a little while again. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Well, that section of the trail wasn't nearly as bad as the first, and I made it out onto this beach just in time by the looks of it because the tide is really closing in. But this beach is just absolutely glorious to cycle along. The sand's really nicely packed and there's just no one out here. This is unreal, just unreal. I've really cut this close. Honestly, another half an hour I might not have been able to make it through. Well, there's the end of the beach. Well, there should be a way into town. Alright, the beach is pretty much unrideable now, but it's not too far for me to push it. I really thought this was going to be one of those shortcuts that takes me 3 or 4 times as long. And it actually hasn't. It's not been too bad. And it's been pretty cool. Well, I definitely spoke too soon, so I've got myself to the end of the beach and found the hiking trail that would take me to the town, and it is genuinely a scramble. Now, I've taken my bike on some ridiculous hiking trails before, but even this is just, it's too much for me. I cannot get up there. There's no way. So as of right now, I am stranded. And to add to that, the tide is all the way in now, so I can't actually go back until that goes out again, which will be another good few hours at least. Luckily, there was a really nice family here who gave me some water, and they also gave me this bag full of fruit. So I should be all right for a little while I figure out what I can do. So here's the hiking trail in question. It starts off going up these quite angled rocks here, which is not easy as it is. And then it gets even worse here, but I could probably get my bike up this bit. Then we got this little challenge, which would not be easy, but that's not even the worst bit. I then have to get up here, which is literally a climb, and then at the top of that you can't even see the trail. It's just no way. The only bonus is I've seen this waterfall, which is one of just 7 waterfalls in the world, which goes directly into the ocean. There's a boat. There's a boat. They might be able to save me. Please. Oh, they're coming this way as well. Okay. He's taking me. Literal lifesaver. Bit of stress getting on the boat, but we made it. And there he goes, my saviour. Thank you very much.
David dropped me off at Playa Tambor, a beach in a stunning bay surrounded by mountains. And after filling up on a delicious plate of casado, I decided I was going to backtrack a little to go see something that the Lancha drove right past.
Well, here it is. This is what I've come this way to see. This is the Jesus tree. And it's been called that because when the tide's in, like right now, it kind of looks like it's just floating on top of the water there. And it's also a bit of a miracle that it even exists. It's somehow growing in the salt water and just on top of a load of rocks. It's quite incredible. Another amazing thing about it, which sadly I can't see right now because the tide's in, its roots actually grow upwards out of the ground. For what reason, I don't know. I can't really seem to find much information about it, but it's quite spectacular. It also just happens to sit on a really beautiful bay, which I think will make the perfect camp spot for my last night on the Nicoya Peninsula. Well, it's a very different morning here today, as there was actually some thunderstorms last night and now everything is just soaking wet. But that's okay, because without the rain there wouldn't be all this amazing life here in the jungle for me to enjoy.
In Costa Rica, a pretty typical breakfast is pinto gallo, a basic meal of rice and beans with something like scrambled eggs. But something about the simplicity of it just feels good for the soul. And fueled with this, I rode my final miles in the peninsula and took the ferry to a town on the mainland called Punta Arenas. And after a much needed day of rest, I set off to explore Costa Rica's mainland.
Well, it feels good to see some big mountains once again. And I've been spending the whole day just slowly climbing up into them in search of some cooler temperatures. And now, after just stopping in one last town for a nice lunch, I am making my way further up into the mountains, seeing where I can get to this afternoon, hopefully finding somewhere I can camp. Well, I've really struggled to find somewhere to camp tonight. There's just tons of private land and houses, and none of the restaurants would even entertain the idea of me camping there. But just as the sun's about to set, I've come across this lot just off the road with all these kind of abandoned trailers. And it's not exactly a beautiful wild camping spot in nature, but the view is amazing. Just gotta get up there.
More than 98% of electricity used in Costa Rica is produced using renewable sources. And so I figured I'd go see how they did this for myself.
Well, it's pretty cool to see one of these renewable energy sources that Costa Rica's using. I've never been to a country that's so committed to protecting the planet. It's really amazing to see. And as well as that, it is just insanely beautiful up here. Well, I've just descended out of the mountains and got to the bottom and realised I have not got my GoPro. I'm pretty sure I left it at the wind farm, so looks like I'm spending my morning pushing my bike back up to the top. Well, I've been pushing and slowly pedalling my bike for the last 2.5 hours to get back up here. There's been a lot of like 25% gradients. It was not fun. Really hope it was worth it. Well, if I've left it, it should be just up here. This is where I left it, right here. That really sucks. That is it's the last 2 days of footage gone. So sorry if the last couple of days seems a bit weird and there's a bunch of missing stuff. That footage is long gone now. And so is my GoPro. I guess the only silver lining is that today I'm going through probably the only place in Costa Rica where I can replace one. So if it was going to happen, it's probably the best day for it to have happened. Still sucks. Also, I got to see this view again and it's so beautiful up there.
And so I made my way into Costa Rica's capital, San Jose. And after replacing the GoPro, I set out early the next morning to make up the miles.
Alright, I'm on a mission today because I didn't get as far as I wanted to yesterday. I've got about 7,000 feet of climbing to do today to get to tonight's campsite. It's going to be a hard day's work, but I think it's going to be worth it. Been climbing a few hours now and definitely up in the clouds. First time I've actually had to wear anything other than a t-shirt to cycle here in Costa Rica. It's really nice. I'm just leaving the last town for the day, heading further up into the clouds. I'm really hoping it'll clear up and I'll actually get to see this volcano, but I do enjoy the uncertainty of it all. Something feels more special when you head out in bad conditions and you don't know whether you're going to see the thing you're going to see or not. Still got a couple of thousand feet to climb, but we're getting there. Well, it is looking increasingly likely that this is going to be the view up here for the next couple of days. But I'm still going to carry on and climb up to the volcano anyway, because you just have to. You have to go up just in the hope that the skies will clear for just a minute and you can see what you worked so hard to get to. I can't tell you how many times it seemed hopeless that the thing I'm on my way to see would be visible. And then you just get this beautiful break of weather and all of your hard work feels worth it and you're just so glad you stuck to it and carried on anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, I've just descended a little and ended up in a wildly different area. It's just this little section of rainforest that is filled with some incredible plants. There's so much life here. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Did I mention this is an active volcano that I'm climbing up? Very nearly at the top now. So that is almost 7,000 feet of climbing for the day, bringing me just over 9,000 feet, which is crazy to think considering I was on the coast just a few days ago. It's amazing that this kind of two-wheeled machine can take me that far. Now it's actually starting to get dark. I've made it here just in time, so I need to go quickly find where I'm going to camp tonight. I do not believe it. Just about to arrive at my campsite and look at this. It's there. It's the only bit of blue skies. Wow. That is beautiful.
I woke up to a beautiful morning with the most amazing birds singing in the trees above my tent and the clouds rolling along the hills. But with the clouds lingering above the top of the volcano, I decided to start my descent to my next destination.
Well, that wasn't much fun. I was basically blinded by the rain the whole way down, but I made it down safe, which is all that matters.
And I'd now arrived in a town called Turrialba, where an American called Matt had invited me to come whitewater rafting. So I got to go stay at a beautiful lodge out in the mountains, and soon we were out on the Whitewater River. The first day of paddling was short, but took us to their lodge in the heart of the jungle.
Well, this was just an awesome place to spend the night. How often can you be this just deep in the jungle? You're staying in these really simplistic kind of cabins, no electricity or anything. Just surrounded by all the trees, all the plants, all the sounds. Even saw some pretty cool wildlife last night.
The next day we rafted much further and got picked up 20 kilometers downriver. It was a really fun couple of days, and I ended up actually staying a whole week with Matt. If you're ever in Costa Rica, definitely go check out Bikepacking Outdoor Center. There's some awesome people there and they can help you have a great adventure.
I've just had an amazing week off the bike, but it now feels great to be back on it, and I've already been spat out into some beautiful Costa Rican countryside.
I don't know about you, I like to tell the truth, but the truth seems to change every Tuesday. When I watch the news, man, it just gives me the blues. No one listens, just on a mission to hear their own voice.
Hola.
It's a wild world, we're all trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world, no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all I've got to give away. Some folks ain't got a dollar.
Here in Costa Rica, you're generally never more than about an hour's ride from a town with a store. But by the looks of it, I'm about to set off on a 3,000 foot climb to the next town. Making my way pretty high up into the mountains over the next few days. This is going to be fun.
Deserve the love of your neighbor. It's a wild world, we're all trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world, no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all I've got to give away.
Well, I've just stopped for lunch at this beautiful spot by a river, and I'm going to set off again now to take on what is definitely the most challenging part of this road. It's going to get really steep for the next couple of thousand feet, and I've also heard that it gets pretty rough at times as well. It's okay though, I don't mind spending a bit more time out here. It's just such a beautiful road, such an amazing part of this country.
Try a little tenderness, maybe some benefit of the doubt. Another person's point of view, try to listen and not to shout. Hold your opinions loosely, maybe you're not always right. Show a little mercy, hold on to love real tight. It's a wild world, we're all trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world, no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all I've got to give away. Love is all we've got to give away.
Well, that was a pretty crazy road, but I made it to the top, and it looks like I'm heading down here.
Aquí estaba el azúcar.
Gracias.
Para su café.
Ah, sí, está bien.
Ah, bueno, gracias.
Gracias.
Ah, no azúcar.
No, gracias.
En Costa Rica sí, mucho azúcar.
Sí, sí. Look at this. This is definitely what I needed after today.
By the looks of it, my first climb for the morning is just following this river upstream, which is absolutely fantastic because the water is beautiful and I get to just enjoy that calming noise of the water flowing all day. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien. Bien cansado.
Sí, muy escapado por aquí.
Sí. ¿De dónde viene?
Ah, de Alaska.
¿De Alaska?
Sí,
¿Solo? ¿Solo?
sí, solo en bicicleta.
¿Y va para dónde?
A Argentina.
¿Va para Argentina?
Sí, todas las Américas.
¡Qué carga! ¿Cuándo salió de Alaska? ¿Cuándo? ¿Qué día?
¿Cómo?
¿Cuándo salió de allá de Alaska?
Un año y medio para Alaska acá.
Ajá.
Y un año y medio más a Argentina. ¿De dónde eres?
No, nosotros somos de aquí, de Cartago.
Ah, sí, sí, Cartago. Sí, sí. Ah, bueno. Hay muchos ciclistas aquí.
Ah, mucho, demasiado, sí. Sábados y domingos es así por aquí, mucha gente.
Ah, sí, sí.
Sí. Pero usted es de Alaska.
No, de Inglaterra.
Inglaterra.
Sí, sí. Pura vida. This is getting more interesting now.
Well, this is pretty frustrating. I've just come across a protected bit of forest here, and not only does it say that bikes or any wheeled transportation is banned, it also says it's a criminal offence. Now, I'm really caught in two minds. Part of me wants to just go for it. It'll probably be fine, I'll probably get away with it. But also, I've been enjoying how well protected all the nature, all of the forest, all of the jungle is in Costa Rica. And I feel like I should just really respect that. They put these rules in place for a reason, because they want to protect it. And it would probably be wrong for me to ignore that. So, I'm gonna head back down. Well, it took me about 5 minutes there to come down what probably took me an hour and a half to get up, but it was good fun at least, and I've ended up down by this beautiful river, so I'm gonna stop and make a coffee and figure out where I'm gonna go next.
Hola, Pero. Hola.
When Friday's workday comes to an end, I'll hang my hammer in the shed. When the bills are piling up and the money's running low, she'll lay me down and I'll forget. Fragile as a flower, pretty as a pearl, she's my good time girl. When the sun comes up, it's beating through my window. The light pounds hard against my head, and I feel her warm breath blowing on my elbow. Who's been sleeping in my bed? Fragile as a flower, pretty as a pearl, she's my good time girl. I've seen a million girls, and I've kissed about a dozen. Not one has ever shared your name. Maybe one day you'll go and find another. Till then I'll love you just the same. Fragile as a flower, pretty as a pearl, she's my good time girl. Fragile as a flower, pretty as a pearl, she's my good time girl.
Well, I ended up cutting yesterday a little short because I somehow stumbled across Hobbiton. Tucked away in the mountains here, someone's created a little Hobbiton. So I figured I'd come check it out, and it turned out I can actually camp here, so I just had to stay the night. I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I've basically spent this entire journey just pretending I'm a hobbit going on an adventure. So it feels like I've kind of landed at home here. So today I'll be climbing to over 11,000 feet and what will be the highest point I reach before leaving Costa Rica. It should be a fairly easy day of climbing, as I think I'm just going to be on the highway all day. I just hope I can make it there by sunset because it could be pretty epic. Starting to get a little cold now.
The air is definitely a little thinner up here. Breathing that little bit heavier. It's humbling. Not far to go though.
I've messed up just a little bit and left the last store for the day with no water. But luckily I've come across this lake here just off the side of the highway. So I've decided to stop and get some filtered for the night. I'm up at about 10,000 feet now and it is noticeably colder up here. I'm really just up in the clouds at this point. But the climb is keeping me warm and there's not too long to go now. Well, I've made it just in time to watch the sunset, but there is nothing to see up here except from clouds. So I'm just going to pitch my tent, get wrapped up in my sleeping bag, and hope for a beautiful clear morning tomorrow. Good night. Well, it's a pretty cold morning this morning, which is not surprising because the mountain I'm on right now is called Cerro Frio, which literally just means cold hill. But there's some beautiful blue skies out. It's gonna be a lovely day. I really enjoy those big days of climbing where you have a huge increase in altitude because you just end up in a completely different ecosystem to where you started the day. The plants change completely, the trees disappear, and you just feel like you're in such a different place. It's almost like you're in a different country. Well, I've just dropped down about 9,000 feet to this beautiful valley here. And I always find it amazing how when you descend down so much elevation so quickly, you can actually feel the air getting warmer as you're descending. It's much hotter down here. And now I am back on the beautiful dirt roads connecting small towns and villages that I love so much.
Well, I have no idea where I'm really going now, or where I'm going to stay for the next few days. But there is some big grey clouds rolling in, so I'm probably going to have to try and figure something out soon. Looks like I'm getting a little wet. This is crazy. It's supposed to be the dry season. I guess it's never really the dry season in this part of the world. Luckily I found a little farm here who are advertising coffee, so I've stopped for some shelter and a bit of caffeine. Well, the rain has passed and the skies have cleared just a little bit. Feeling very grateful right now for the fact that there are houses pretty much everywhere in Costa Rica, so you're never too far from a bit of shelter. And I had a little look at the forecast there, and there's rain forecasted every afternoon for the next 10 days or so. It is not supposed to be the rainy season for another month, but it very much feels like it. I just came across this little kind of rancho here that had a couple of cabanas for rent, and then the rain started, so I tucked away under some shelter, and the brother of the owner actually came past. So I asked him if I could camp here for the night, and he took me up to his brother's house, and the guy said yes, no problem, didn't want any money or anything. And it's a beautiful little spot. Like, look at these mountains behind me. And I was just walking back from his house and some toucans just flew right by me, landed on a tree right next to my head. It was pretty cool. Looking like it could rain more tonight, so I think I might as well make the most of this shelter. Just been letting my clothes dry out in the morning sun, and now I just need to see how far I can make it before the afternoon rain rolls in. And along the way, just do my best to enjoy this beautiful bit of the Costa Rican countryside. Well, I made quite a bit of progress today, riding some pretty easy miles along the Pan American Highway, which has actually been quite a rare choice of route, at least since Canada for me. But it was really enjoyable, some really beautiful riding through the Costa Rican countryside, and then spent quite a while following some pretty stunning rivers. And the rain just never ended up coming, so I just kept pushing on, ended up doing about 55 miles today. And now I've ended up at this beautiful campsite up in the mountains. There's a stunning lake and there's all kinds of amazing birds like these you can hear right now. Really lovely place to end a good day of riding.
Well, this has been just a lovely place to wake up this morning. It's so peaceful here, there's so many amazing birds everywhere. And it's just such a lovely family that's running the place as well. I was chatting to the guy last night and he was telling me that when he was born here, all of this was just open fields for cows. And they've since completely reforested the place and brought so much life back here. It's really beautiful. Got a really sweet kid as well. He was hanging out with me last night. He kept bringing me these tiny little frogs that they have living here. Now today is gonna be my last full day in Costa Rica, but there's gonna be a lot of rain apparently this afternoon. So I don't imagine I'll go too far and just try and find a great spot to spend my last night in this wonderful country. Well, I've made it to one of the last big towns for the day, although I still probably have about 2.5 hours of riding to do to get to where I want to camp tonight. But I'm just holding off on leaving because there are some big grey clouds rolling in. I'm risking it. I'm sure there'll be a house or a ranch somewhere where I can hide out if the rain comes. I messed up. Gonna find some shelter real quick. I'm in someone's porch. Que le vaya bien. Well, can't imagine a better way to end my time in Costa Rica than getting covered in mud. Originally I was planning to make it to some hot springs tonight, but with still about an hour and a half of riding to go, I was just up in the mountains here and came across a beautiful spot on a track that I don't think is very often travelled. I'm completely surrounded by rolling green hills, just vast countryside. There's nothing out here but a couple of ranches. So I decided I might as well stop and enjoy this really peaceful place. I think I'll be happy with this being my last camp spot in Costa Rica. Well, I have to say I'm glad I stopped when I did. Just got absolutely soaked while pitching my tent. Don't remember the last time I had to pitch it in a panic like that. Oh, that was stressful. I forgot what that was like, to be honest. Buenos dias. Buena vida. He's just told me there's no bridge at the next river. It's going to be interesting.
I've tried just about everything. Fly away.
Well, this is going to be interesting.
Got a rowdy heart and a broken wing, looking for a home, land wide, going somewhere. I've never been. Got a rowdy heart and a broken wing, restless night, strangest dream. Staring at
Well, he didn't mention that there was multiple rivers.
begging for some.
Now this is what I'm talking about. More of these, please.
rowdy heart and a broken wing.
Buenos días. Mucho tráfico. Sí. ¿Puedo pasar? ¿Es posible o no? Disculpe vacas.
Got a rowdy heart and a broken.
Gracias por la vida. Look at this little guy. Whoa. That's the first time I've seen them. I think they're just called white-faced monkeys or something like that. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
My final day perfectly encapsulated my time in Costa Rica. Adventurous riding, crossing rivers, quick chats with friendly locals, and a wildlife encounter to top it all off. And pretty soon, I'd made it to the border, bringing to an end an amazing 28 days bikepacking the length of this magical country.